and welcome back to Shakhtar's Glory, episode, wait for it, 100. We made it to the 100 episodes. When I set it out at the start of this episode, start the series, start the channel, I was aiming to just get a really long series going, get to that, milestone, 100 videos, and see if we can get there and do it. We've done it right before the end of FM18 as we lead into FM19, so I'm absolutely chuffed. Still got one or two more yet, hopefully. Certainly one or two more. But how long after it will go after that, I'm not too sure. So today's episode, last episode out, episode 99, was the transfer special. We talked about who we got in the Champions League group draw, and what was the other thing? Just the catch up of fixtures and stuff. And we had a little bit of a look at the squad and some of the new players into it. Today I've got a little highlights package together. I mentioned it probably just a few times in the last episode as I was recording it just now, having a quick listen back. Not editing it, I haven't done that yet. I noticed I did talk about it a few times, went over it a few times. It was just these ad hoc videos that I do a little bit, are just a little bit off how I normally do them, so I tend to go on things a bit differently. But yeah, so we'll look at those games in the Champions League group shortly, and the group at the end. I'm sure we'd look at the group stage, the final table. So, but we've just got a couple of league results to look at, the games that happen in between. So we'll cut to those now. So the first game in the league was a 6-0 win against Ilичevets. This came after our first group game, so it was really good to bounce back from that. Very rested team. Firmino did see red quite late on, though. The damage was already done. Cedric Dure got a couple, Perdomo got a couple. Campino scored, the young Portuguese striker, and Yalda Silva got one as well. I think his first goal for the club, in fact. But Ilичevets not at the races. You can see 4-1, 4-1. I'm going to put match stats on, so these absolutely dominated. I'm surprised they didn't score that one goal, but fortunately not. We followed that up with a 1-0 win against Zoya, who, like I say, at this point were, well, I think I mentioned in the last video, were very much on our tails. And we'll have a look at the league table at the end of this as well. Yad Silva get a man of match in this one, but Campino scoring after 15 minutes wasn't the best game. It was quite close. Two teams that sort of narrowed each other, sort of cancelled each other out a little bit. But we got the result, 1-0, absolutely happy with that. We then beat Zerka 4-0 away from home. Obviously, I think we beat them, was it 10-1 or 11-1 or something in the cup final at the end of last season. So to come and get another 4 past them is great. Campino drew away with 2 and Perdomo amongst the goals. The damage was all done by 26 minutes. Nothing else happened after that. We tried, they had a red card on 55. Still, we couldn't break through anymore. I tried to do what we could, but after that 4th goal went in, they went very defensive, shut up shop. We were never going to get back through and get any more, but we didn't need to push too much. We had the 4-0 win. That's all we had to do. So yeah, happy with that. We then played Verez in the cup. They're a division below us. I think they were in our division very early on in the series. I do recognise the name, but we beat them 5-1. Perdomo, Campino with 2, Drouet, Sumaharo got 1, and I think we missed a penalty. Yeah, Campino missed a penalty. We're not having the best of luck with penalties this season, but 5-1. We did the job. Again, we're through to the next round of the cup. That's all we can ask for. Away from home against a potential banana skin. We did the job. We did what had to be done. With quite a weakened team. So Sumaharo is a new player we brought back up. We're training him as a centre back at the moment. In fact, he can play there now. He's actually fully trained there now. That's good to know. He's learnt that very quickly. He was a defensive midfielder. We signed him from ASEC, I think. Yeah, very cheap, but he's a loan at Zoya last season. Played a lot of games. Did okay. Probably in midfield. He's come in this season. He's playing really well for us. So I think he's got all the attributes we need to play that. Yes, he's a defensive midfielder, but he's got all the attributes. He's 6'2", marking, tackling. It can be improved, but it's good enough. He's got the passing as well. Again, positioning 17, concentration 13. There's enough there for me to work with and be happy. He's still got quite a low potential, which was a shame. Because when we signed him, he was a lot higher than that. But I think he can come in and certainly is in our backup, because we need 6 defenders really. We play 3 at the back. We need sort of 5 or 6 really. He can be one of those 5 or 6. We then faced Karpaty at home in the league. 4-0 win. Romero on the score sheet. Paulinho getting 1. Matvienko grabbing 1 as well. First of the season. Probably one of the few goals he has scored for us. And Baggio as well. Forgotten man Baggio. He had a big long injury, I think, at some point. Maybe at the end of the last season. Maybe start of this season. But there's a few ahead of him now. But we do play the 3 strikers, so he's got more opportunities to break through. So, but yeah, 4-0 win. Again, no shots on target for Karpaty, who are doing okay this season. I think they're in Europe as well, so it's surprising not putting up more of a fight, but we do see that in the league. It's pretty much Kiev and Zoya, the only teams that really put up a fight. The first of two resounding wins that came back to back in the league. There was no Champions League game in between them. 6-0 Olympic Donetsk. First of all, Mohamed getting free, Romero getting free. A game of hat-tricks. Danielson getting sent off. That is the Danielson that played for Arsenal. Not very good. I think did we not have him at one point? Did we have him at the start of the... I'm sure we had him at the start of the save. We did. We had him for a year, didn't we? Yeah, and then we sold him for 4.8. Not bad. He went back to Mexico. We went to Mexico, into Colombia, back into Europe in the Czech Republic, and then he's now on loan at Olympic Donetsk. Got sent off against us, so not the best season for him. But yeah, 6-0. Again, no shots on target. It's a very familiar pattern and theme. So yeah, the next game, we go 2 better and get 8 against Desna. Perdomo getting 2, drew over hat-trick, an own goal. Adir getting his first goal for the club, and I think Yakovlev possibly getting his first as well. I'm not too sure if he scored before, but 8-0. They had a few shots, so they've done better than most teams, really. Against, again, our backup brigade, really. A couple in there that sort of feature for the first team now and then. He then did have a double against Dynamo Kiev, the first one in the league, which was right after the Champions League game, which when I looked at the schedule I thought was really unfair. It was like 2 days later after the Champions League game, really harsh. But we came through 3-1. I think we were able to play a strong squad in this. In fact, we may have even rested a little bit in the Champions League. I can't remember. But Alberto getting 2 very late on and Romero getting 1. They did actually take the lead after 10 minutes, and we actually broke through very late, 81, 82 and 95. So we were very lucky to actually get out of this game. But if you look at the stats, we should have been far and away in this game, winning this game before we were. But 3-1 against your big rivals at home in the first game against them, I believe. That's all we can ask for. Date-wise, we had about a 2-week break then. I think it was an international break. We had Kiev in the quarterfinal, I think it was. Yeah, quarterfinal of the Kubok Ukraini. 2-1 this time. Perdomo and Yakovlev very late on. We took the lead. They equalised with a penalty just before half-time. We scored the winner very, very late on. It looked like it was going to go into extra time or a replay, but we managed to nab the winner. Probably second best in this game. We were second best. Our weaker team put out. We had to bring on a few players to make an impact. We grabbed the goals late on. But we're through to the semi-final. Doesn't matter how you get there, as long as you get there. Before we talk about this Alexandria game, actually, just to follow on from that Kiev game, that was a very big, a very weak team. We rested because we had a big Champions League game up after that. I think it was the Marseille game. I think when you see the highlights, you'll see why. You won't see the group stage as it goes through, but it was a very big game for us. We needed to have everyone fit and firing for that game, so we didn't play them in the Kiev game. And the local lad popped up and scored the winner in the 95th minute. I mean, that's the sort of headlines you need writing, isn't it? But Alexandria, a 1-0 win. We left it late, 82 minutes. The local lad again scoring a very late winner. Again, we dominated this game. Didn't see too many shots, certainly not on target. Should have won probably a lot clearer than we did. But again, a bit of a very weakened team out there. Not the first choice by any stretch of imagination. This is another player we brought up from the youth team, Yurchenko. He is a right winger, and I decided not to sell him just because he had some potential about him. And I'm training him to play the box-to-box midfielder because he's got all the physicals needed for it. He's got good passing, good dribbling, bit of teamwork and work rate possibly needs to be improved. But we are training it. Hopefully he can come good as well. He's only 19, so we are training him to that centre midfield role and playing him there when we can. And he's for the most part doing quite well. 7.9 average rating out of 5 games in the league. Not bad. He has played Champions League, 3 games off the bench. He's got a 7.31, so he could be a player. I don't really need many more centre midfielders, but we do need some more homegrowns from Ukraine in there for the league, certainly, because we've got a lot of foreigners. Even though they're homegrown, they don't count. You still have to have, I think, 4 Ukrainians or 3 Ukrainians playing. I think it's 4. So he's needed this season. We then follow that up with a 4-0 win against Vorskla away from home. Baggio grabbing 2, Yakovlev, I'm going to get that right at some point, get another one, and Firmino, I think, getting his first goal as well, the young Brazilian centre-back who come from our academy. Baggio getting man of the match, playing really well. Again, look, 1 shot on target for them. These teams just don't us and maybe Zoya and Kiev aren't where they get their points from. They get their points, they try and finish sort of third, fourth. If they can nick a point off us somewhere here and there, they'll go, but they're not going to go and try and beat us. It just doesn't really happen. Every now and then you'll get a freak sort of performance from them, and you might see them run you close, but generally not really. Yeah, so now what we're going to do, we are going to jump into those Champions League highlights. So you'll see the games. I'm going to split them up so you can see they're in order. You're going to see who we're playing. It's going to be set up correctly, so you'll know what's happening and what's going on. So yeah, we'll cut over to those highlights now. They will just be set to a backdrop of music, so there'll be no talking, no commentary or anything. So I'll get this here now before the end of the video. If you have enjoyed this video, please do drop a like on it. Please watch the end as well, of course, because it all helps the channel. If you want to sub while you're there as well, that'd be fantastic. And any comments, of course, I do mention it. It's all good. It all helps the channel, and I like to just get some feedback, get some interaction with who's watching my videos, and anything you want to see. If you do want to see that sort of 5-10 seasons on in this alternate reality, this alternate world, let me know. I'll try and put that into practice. It probably won't fall into the same schedule as Shakhtar. It'll probably take me a little, my Monday, Wednesday, Friday. It'll probably maybe take me a week to record it through, because at this stage of the save it's running quite slow. So yeah, watch the end of the Champions League highlights. I'll see you next time. Take care.
Samba.